In the clinical work that I've done, I've seen a tremendous rise in the number of adolescents as well as individuals presenting with concerns related to online gambling, online gaming, pornography, specifically access through the computer. And there's this drive towards accessing more and more high stimulation information, more high stimulation material than we've ever seen previously. Video games, social media, or social networking sites, even now the cell phones that we carry around all provide instant access to very high stimulation activities. Accessing videos, accessing music, accessing games can all of a sudden be done through a couple touches of a button, and they're always on one's way simulation, one's ways ever seen, one's ways video game, one's ways social. So what we see, again, clinically is folks who end up utilizing these means of managing their boredom, managing their loneliness in some way. They're creating a mood-altering experience to escape whatever it is that they're feeling and move towards a more pleasurable experience. The toll that we tend to see taking place is addictive behaviors becoming entrenched along the way. A good analogy perhaps to think of would be something like the Grand Canyon, where we know the Grand Canyon wasn't formed in a short time. It took pre-existing conditions paired with the environmental changes that took place over many, many, many years to culminate with the Grand Canyon. The same thing can be said for many of these cyber addictions. There's some sort of personality or inherent characteristic that an individual has paired with the environment that they're a part of. The combination of those things over time have the same impact, in that a chasm is created. This addictive behavior becomes more conditioned or more entrenched the longer that the individual utilizes that medium. An example would be gaming. I work with a number of adolescents who, prior to their addiction with pornography, they did lots of high time, high stimulation internet activities. Typically we're talking about games that involved real-time, either art of war games, real-time games that incorporated some degree of violence, where there's a lot of adrenaline being created. There's just a buy-in to, a draw into this alternative world, this alternative reality, if you will, where the individual is escaping. They're escaping their homework. They might be escaping, if it's an adult, it might be escaping work responsibility. They might be escaping uncomfortable emotion that's generated through being in relationship, or maybe not being in relationship with someone. So we see more than we ever have before in American culture, the means by which to facilitate cyber addiction are more prevalent now than they ever have before. An example that came out recently from Facebook is that 150 million Americans now have access to their Facebook account through their telephones or other mobile devices. Nearly 50% of the American population now has access to instantaneous information simply through Facebook, through social networking. The irony in all of this is that many of these technological advances have been centered around the idea of connection. And what we see, the folks who sit in my office as clients, both adolescents and adults, talk about the isolation that they feel, high amounts of technology in their lives, but low amounts of human connection. With a product like Savvy, the idea is to facilitate a deeper and more meaningful sense of connection, not an electronic relationship, not some form of simulated relationship that might take place just online, but a very tangible, very real, very emotionally based and connective relationship for the individual.